Good morning all, this is Saif here from Smitzy Technologies, and today we are trying to demonstrate one scenario where the client is sending us unstructured data, and the requirement is we need to transform that into a structured tabular format where it would be sent to the downstreams. So here I have made use of PySpark Regular Expression to implement this scenario. Let's get started. So here I'm going into my Linux environment and I'm just trying to see first 5 rows from the data which is being sent by the client. Okay, so this is the data which looks like. What I have done is I have copied this one set of row and kept it in a notepad, and from this we want IP address, we want date, we want the response, whether it's a get, put, what is the status code of that is status response, and finally what is the bytes in size. This is what they are in need of. Okay, what I will do is I will push this data into my Hadoop. Okay, for that there is a very easy command, htfs dfs hyphen put. Okay, and my file name is network event log file, and I need to push this into my Hadoop location, that is user self hfs input, and I have created a streaming folder because I would be implementing the same scenario moving ahead with streaming data also. Let me verify the data with the ls command. Let me go to this location and let me see whether the file is available or not. Yes, the file is available. Now I will go to PyCharm and will start implementing the code. Let me import the statement. So from PySpark.sql, I'll try to import Spark session as a class. I'll try to create a main where all my execution will happen. From this class, I will be creating a Spark object. Okay, so from Spark session with a builder function, the application name I will try to give is I am handling unstructured data. Okay, for the time being I'm trying to use all my local resources on this machine, and finally get a create method. My Spark object creation is done. Now what I will try to do is from Hadoop I will try to read this file. Okay, this file I need to read. So I will say this file name is network log data frame, and from the object which we created I'm trying to use the read, and the format I'm trying to provide it as a CSV. And finally what I will try to say is I will try to say load this. Okay, so I just copied it twice, and let me verify the data whether it is loading it appropriately or not with an action that is called show. Let's execute this code. So the code is getting executed if you see in the bottom. Okay, so we will be seeing some logs which will be getting running, and finally we will get some output. Let me just pull this a little up so that I can show you the output in a clear and concise way. Okay, if you see we are getting an error. That's okay. We are getting an error that says analysis exception. The reason for this is if you see the path which we have given is appropriately right, user Saif hfs input, the Hadoop cluster. Okay, so this Spark is installed on my Hadoop cluster, so it is not able to identify that, so I need to specify that. So on a local host with a 9000 port, okay, that is installed. So let me take this down so that it is in front of your eyes. And here what I will try to write is truncate equals to false so that you can see the entire data also. Let me execute this. So the code is getting executed. If you see at the bottom, the logs are running. What happens in the project is, okay, this is replaced with your endpoint of your cluster, and this is the port which is assigned to that. Here, it's on my local machine, hence I know this information. Now let's go over here. If you see, this is the output. Okay, so this is the raw data which is unstructured. We need to format in a structure. Now if you see, by default the underscore C0 column name is given. What we can do is, okay, we can either use a with column rename, or else I will just say 2df over here and I will just give a name to this. Let's say event logs. Let me execute this code again. The code is getting executed. Can you see the logs have started running? And let's see the column name. Yes, we got that column name. Okay, now this is an entire column. We need to break down into the structured format. Let's start writing the code for that. So if you see, from this we need to find out the first, that is your IP address, so that when I'm trying to write, I'll just show you how the code is looking like. As I said, I'll be making use of regular expression, so I'll just give some identifier name, let's say IP column, which I'm trying to derive. And here I'm trying to write a regular expression, so we need to write a raw string. Now if you see, the IP number contains 3 digits. As of now, here we are receiving 2 digits. But in real time, okay, or in actual, okay, we have a range of 0 to 255. So it can be 1 digit, it can be 2 digit, or it can be 3 digit. So /d stands for digits, and it would be range from 1 to 3. That's how we will be writing. Okay, so I'll just quickly copy paste this simple regex. Now if you see, we have a dot over here, so I need to handle this because it is a dot which acts as a special character, so I need to precede with a backslash. Again, if I see 3 digits, again if I see 3 digits, 3 digits, so the same code is repeated again. And that's how we have identified this code in regex. Very easy, right guys? Once you know it, yes, it is easy. So now what I will try to do is, I will say result data frame, and from this data frame, which Spark was reading the data and creating a data frame, I'm trying to use a with column. The first column, the first what you say constructor or the parameter is the column name which you want in the output. So I will use as IP address. You can give any column name of your choice. Now we will be using regular expression extract. Okay, what I'm trying to use, regular expression extract. There is a typo. So if you see REGEXP and extract. Okay, so now it expects 3 parameters. So for your understanding, I have just removed it. If you see, it is coming from PySpark.sql functions, and this is your regular extract, regular regex. So regex, I think I made a mistake, so it should have been REGEXP. Yeah, that's correct, right? So REG, yeah, that's correct. Let's import this because it is trying to say it is coming from that. So from PySpark.sql.functions, import your regular expression extract. It has 3 arguments. The first is your string, what pattern, and index. They have given an example also. You can go through those examples. Let's come back to the code. Okay, so the first is your string. Okay, if you remember, the column name which was coming was this. That's your string. The pattern which we have identified is this, and from that I want everything that's the index. Let's verify whether the code which we have written is correct or not. So I will just say truncate equals to false. I'll be consistent in the code writing. Let me execute this piece of code. So the expectation is we should get from this entire data, okay, from this entire data, we should get this IP address along with the data. Okay, let's verify, and moving ahead, I will just write only the output columns. In the first case, I wanted to show the entire data plus the new column. Okay, if you see, it has an exit code 0 successfully executed. So this is your entire data, guys, event logs. If I scroll horizontally towards the right, okay, oh, I made a mistake. I did not brought that column in the output. Okay, so if I go over here, I should have written a select column, and the new column which we have derived from that data frame is this. Okay, so let's re-execute this. The code has started getting executed. And if you see, now we are able to get that IP address as a column. Looks good. Okay, so now quickly what we will do is, okay, we will build the code for all the columns, or maybe like one by one, and we will test all the functionalities based on the requirement. Okay, so now what we want is from this string, okay, we need this date. Okay, so let me capture this. Okay, let me go to this machine and let me put this over here so we can write the code. So let's give this column name as date column. You can give any name of your choice. Okay, it's a raw string. Now if you want to see this entire data actually, okay, so I should have copied this. Let me just, from that we want this, we will get that, don't worry. So if you see in the beginning, we have opening and closing square bracket. So we need to escape this, guys. Okay, that's been escaped. Now you all know how to handle these digits. The new thing is words. So let me write that and show you. So /d, it's a digit. Okay, and I know it will be always 2-digit dates which would be received, or else you can write 1,2. Okay, it's up to you. After that, okay, we have a / and we have 3 words, right? So here I will write a / and words. How many character, guys? 3, guys. Okay. After that we have / and 4 digits. Yes or no? So let me write //d and 4. Once we are done with that, okay, if you see colon, we have consistent. So what I will do, :/d, and we have 2 digits. I will just quickly do a copy and paste it twice. So these 3 things are handled. There is a space, I can give /s also. Then I will give /d, and we have 4 digits. That's how we have built this. Okay, let's scroll down. Now what I will do is quickly I will copy this with column, so that, or else we can write also, no problem, anything is fine. With column, what is the output you want, or what is the column name you want in the output? Okay, it's up to you. I will give this as, let's say, IP date. Then where did I go? Okay, then I want my regular expressions. We all know the first column is a string. Then there is a pattern, which is nothing but this. For now, I want to have everything just for demonstration purpose. Okay, and this column I want in the output. Okay, so let me scroll a little up. I don't want this output, so I'll comment this. Let me scroll a little down. Okay, and this is the code. Let's execute this. So the code has started getting executed. Let's understand what is the output. If you see, it is giving me an error which is saying IP date is not defined. The reason for that is I have not enclosed in a single quote. Let me re-execute this code. The code is getting executed, guys. It has successfully executed. Now if you see, we had two columns, IP address and IP date. But we didn't wanted this entire thing, guys. We just wanted this. That's where what you will do is from till here, you will just enclose this in parentheses. I want that. Let me execute this piece of code. And I made a mistake. I'll show you the error what I made. I should have changed this from 0 to 1 because 0 means it will give me everything. So if you see, it is giving me everything. Okay, so I should have said that as 1. Now it will give me the desired result, what we wanted. Regular expressions are very powerful, guys. They are like very powerful. If you know how to play with them, you can scrap any unstructured data which is coming from your source teams. Okay, so if you see now, we are getting the required. Let's move on, guys. Okay, so second step is done. Third, so now if you see, we want this, the entire. Okay, this is what we want. So I'll just copy this and I will paste this over here. Okay, and let's start building the code for this. So I will say maybe like this is URL column, and we all know now what is raw string, guys, correct? Beautiful. Okay, now what we want is, okay, so this square brackets, why I'm trying to write is, if you see there is like double quotes, I don't want that in double quotes. So that's where I'm trying to write double quotes. This is a not symbol, and this is your double quotes which I don't want in the output. And in between it can have one occurrence, two occurrence, so that is 0 or more occurrence. I don't want them. And I want the exact result. Let's enclose that. Okay, so your pattern has been defined. Let's go down. Now I will do a quick copy paste because we have written this code twice from the scratch. Now it'll be a little quicker. Okay, and let me just tap this a little ahead so that the code is in neat format. Cool. So what is the column name do you want in the output? I would say is URL data. Regular expression extract from your data frame. What is the pattern? This is the pattern, guys. Okay, and now you understand the significance of 1 and 0. This is the column which I need in my output. Let's space that and let's execute this code. So now we should have 3 columns in the output from that unstructured data. One is IP address, the other is IP date, and the other is URL data. Okay, so let's scroll. There is some issue. Okay, if you see in the URL data, we are getting the IP address as well. Why is that so? And again, like, so event logs, URL column. Okay, so this is your URL data. That is good. So we are getting a combination of these two. Why is that so? Okay, so we have URL column which is getting over here. That's good. So let me verify the code. Okay, okay, I got the issue. The issue is, okay, what we are trying to we are trying to exclude. Okay, we have not identified that in the double quotes, because if you see, the pattern is starting with that double quote, right? So we have not excluded. See, if you see, we were missing this and we were missing this. Regular expressions again is a challenging thing to write, because even if a small character here and there, okay, your code does not works. And at the same time, it is so powerful, you can do anything, as I said earlier. Okay, so now if you scroll a little up, can you see I am able to get the data appropriately? Good guys, you are able to see the errors, and if you see how I'm troubleshooting the errors and getting the solution, that will come by time and experience and practice. Okay, so now quickly let's work on the fourth and fifth column, and let's complete this. Now we want status code. Okay, so I'll just take this because I would be playing with this last 8 digits. Okay, cool. So this is what I want. Okay, now this is my status column. Yeah, because a response column, you can say anything, it's of your choice. So this is my status call. Again, you all know now the raw string. Okay, now guys, okay, so if you see, it is the 8 digits from the last, right? 8 digits. So what I will do, and it's like 3 and 5, so quickly I will do /d. Okay, now it can be between a range of 1 to 3, because they are like your status code. I'll give a space, again I'll give /t. Oh, what did I do wrong? The cursor went somewhere. Okay, so let's go and give 1 comma 5. Okay, so now this is ending with, you might know Linux starting and ending, so ending with 8 digits. But from this 8 digits, I want this only, so I will enclose that. Okay, come down, let's do a quick copy paste of this so that your code is built a little faster. What is the column name in the output you want, guys? I will say it is my status response. From the data frame, this is your pattern and this is 1. So let me just align this. And this is the column we need in the output. Let's execute this piece of code, guys. I hope now you are able to understand how we are writing the regular expressions, guys. Slowly you will understand. Okay, so it takes time. Okay, we are getting an error. Very good, no problem. So that's how we learn. So if you see URL data response, okay, it is telling that analysis exception. Given input column names are this. Okay, so these are input column names. Let me show it to you. Okay, event logs. Okay, then we have IP address. Okay, then we have IP date, then we have status response, then we have URL data. Okay, so it is not able to identify this column name. That's what it is able to tell us. Okay, so this is my status response, which I am trying to fetch it from here. This is my status column. Okay, so event logs is this. Okay, that is also good. So this is your IP address. Okay, then we have IP date, that is also correct. URL data is over here. Okay, then we have status response, where I'm making a mistake. So URL, so this is the problem. Where is this column? So you somewhere, like if you remember, in between the cursor went somewhere, it might be somewhere in the code. I might have made some fishy stuff. So let me scroll. Did I make some mistake? Where is that column? So what is it is trying to tell? Cannot resolve URL, and let me see, it's specifying us some line number. Okay, no, it's not. So URL data status response. So this is somewhere near here only. So let's understand it again. So this is being closed. Okay. Let's understand. So IP address, IP date, okay, URL data is over here. Then this is your status response. This is your status column which we have written the code for. All looks good to me. Where is that error? That's a good thing. So cannot resolve URL data status response. So where is URL data response? It is like combination of these two. It is trying to say me. So if you see URL data and state, it is not able to. Okay, the issue is I have not given. See, it's a small issue and it takes like a little problem. Let me execute this. I was missing the comma. No problem, because it was not able to identify this enter column. I should have. It's like small mistake, but again, like as a developer, we tend to see more in technical and we miss small things. That's okay. That's a learning phase always for you guys. Now, okay, if we have IP address, IP date, URL data, okay, and we have status code. And finally, the last column which we need is, okay, this, which is nothing but size in bytes, okay, which we already have over here. Okay, so from here, I'll just copy this and paste this over here. I will give this name as like bytes column. Okay, so let me quickly copy this. This is a raw string. Oh, okay, so this is a raw string. Okay, and what I need, as you all know, I need /t digits. How many? Last, like 1 to 5, correct? So 1 comma 5, which is ending with. Okay, and if you want exactly that, so that's it. So your work is done. Let me scroll a little down and let me write the final logic derive column. So this column name at the end you can say is, let's say, size in bytes. What is the pattern column name? That is this. Let's change it over here. And this column name we want in the output, and let's not make the same mistake which I made a little while earlier. And again, here I'm making a mistake. Let me enclose that and tap this. Let's execute the code, and this is it. We have, let's execute this completely successfully to understand whether I am able to transform that data which was coming in unstructured format to a structured format. Yes, we are, guys. Wow. Let's understand IP address, IP date, URL data, status response. Oh, size in bytes is not coming. If you see, there is an issue. That's why always validate your data, guys. Don't be under impression that your data would be correct. Oh, sorry, your output would be correct. The mistake what I made is I should have written curly braces. Small mistakes, big errors. Yes or no, guys? Okay, but let's understand this. I have modified my code. The code is getting executed. The logs have started running, and let's see the output. IP address is good, IP date is good, URL status response, and size in byte. Hooray, guys. We are able to transform the data as per the client requirement, which was coming as an unstructured data, which we have transformed to a structured format using PySpark Regular Expression. So if you like this, guys, do like my video, share and subscribe, and share with your friends so that like I can reach to multiple audience and I can keep uploading this valuable contents for your learnings. And if you have anything, what you can do is you can ping me on this number and I should be able to give you a reply. Thank you for attending this demo. See you soon. Take care.